It's going live. We're live. Oh my god, we're
Oh
live.
my God,
Hello.
live. Doesn't say you're live on YouTube.
Yeah, probably has the 30-second OBS delay.
Likely
Hello,
so.
everyone. Let me go pull up some random music to play in the background.
Oh, there you go. There, now it's live. Okay, cool.
There we go. We turn this shit down so we don't blow out people's eardrums.
Mm. Alright, now pull up Shadow of the Erdtree.
Oh, don't worry. I'll just
Oh,
pull that
okay.
up in the watch together later. So
I
hello,
see.
everyone. Whoever's actually here. How are you all doing? One moment. Go pull the stream up on my phone to make sure it's working. I love my Blue Yeti mic. I love being able to walk away
Yeah.
and still be able to speak.
It's much better than that thing you bought. That terrible thing.
Mm-hmm.
That headset mic was not it.
Yeah.
And now I know like so little on Elden Ring lore. It's not even funny. So this should be an interesting stream to, be educated myself on it.
You know, that's great that you're here, because in large part, that was what the old Elden Ring videos were. Was just going, hello, people. We'll get you in this VC and we'll lecture you in real time.
I know what the game throws in your face. Like the night of that's not what that's called. I was gonna go for the night of Shattered Glass, and I'm like, that's a different thing. The night of long, is it Black Knives or Long Knives?
It's the Night of the Black Knives.
Black Knives, very cool.
The Night of the Long Knives is an event from real-world history.
Yeah, I know, yeah. My first thought was Night of Broken Glass, and I'm like, that's very different.
No. But the Night of Long Knives is still part of that.
Yeah. So yeah, all right. It's finally out though. Shadow of the Erdtree trailer. Look at that.
Only took a year.
Roughly.
A little under a year. I think,
Yeah.
what was it? The announcement thing came out on the 28th last year, I want to say. So 3 days after the 1-year anniversary. And the trailer came out almost 3 days before the 2-year anniversary.
Fuck, this game's been out for a bit, hasn't it? Shit.
Yeah, it's kind of fucking me up that it came out like 2 years ago now.
It's actually fucking crazy. Let's see here. Yeah, Elden Ring. Pull up Elden Ring.
Let's pull this shit up over here.
Yeah. There's a lot in this trailer that is like, man, this is gonna be big as fuck, isn't it?
Yeah, so they have announced that the DLC region will be about as big, if not slightly bigger than Limgrave.
That's fucked up.
However, it seems like it will be even more plentiful with its contents.
Yeah, because Limgrave is big, but nothing really in there. Big field. And this is much more plentiful. Hopefully. So where do you want to start?
Well, we'll probably start with just watching the trailer, though. We'll do that in a few minutes to let people join in, be that in the chat or in VC.
True. You have 3 people up on stream, although they're probably not. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, it's nice that the trailer is finally out, and it's actually still happening. Now I'm still
good trailer
curious.
was good. True, the good trailer was good.
The good trailer was very good.
Let me get the chat up here. Actually, totally forgot I need to turn that on.
Hey,
Hello, Carrot Drop.
It's interesting. Like, was that? Remember when the Game Awards was happening? That one, with the giant's face, and everyone thought that was gonna be like, oh, is this the entrance to the DLC?
Which one?
The one like the giant face underneath the castle.
Oh, that, yeah, the God one, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone was like, "Oh, is that going to be the entrance to the DLC?" It's like, no, it's what you thought. It's what we all thought. Getting grabbed by Mickle hand.
Hello, Heavenly. Earning my tree till I burst. Oh, very good VC status.
Yeah. I mean, we are earning our tree. So.
How are you doing, Heavenly?
You are muted if you didn't know that.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome.
I'm doing all right.
That's good.
I have a very important question. Are you ready for Filianor 2 Electric Boogaloo?
Oh my god, I was literally just talking about that when the fucking trailer came out. Like, I was talking about it yesterday. They're doing it again. Is instead, I mean, we're still getting Mikla in it, so we're still gonna be expanding upon an existing character. But they're pulling a ringed city, and instead of expanding upon the existing characters, they go, what if there was just another one we didn't tell you about?
Rykard was a twink.
But now we're finding out, because everyone's actually going... People have, like, spread out to the game world. And they're finding out, no, they did tell you about him. No one just really gave a shit.
Well, there is no mention of his name at any point. There's just,
Yeah.
like, the one statue with Mikola that's not of him with Melania, and it's like, what?
The first, like, 2 times I watched the trailer, I didn't have subtitles on, and I wasn't really paying attention, so I didn't know that he had his name said in the trailer. I just assumed, like, it was some kind of... It was either going to be, like, Rykard in, like, a dream, or Mikola got older and his hair got darker.
It would be cool to see, like, human-ish Rykard.
Yeah.
We see that in, like, paintings, but, like, you know... It'd be neat to see that in actual, like, model form.
I also want to just know how, like, big he was, because it would be really funny if he was just normal size.
Rykard, the 5-foot king.
5-foot king and his fucking 12-foot brother.
Short king.
The singular player character model demigod. Everyone else is taller. Even when you look at Ronnie's real body, she's like 10 feet tall.
Well, they are demigods.
Mikola could be like a...
They are demigods?
Mikola could be like a Yorshka situation where he's a child, but also like 7 feet tall for some reason.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like, not to go too much into the trailer, but I feel like we're getting that.
When you look at, you can look at the picture of Moog stealing away Mikola, and you can probably do some kind of size comparison there to figure out Mikola is like, I don't know, the size of one of Moog's arms.
Well, if we go by like the image, Shadow of the Earth became a thing. He's small enough to ride for him, at least.
Yeah.
If that is Mikola still.
I'm very confident that's still Mikola. I mean, they refer to Mikola at the start of the trailer. We see Mikola at the end of it. It's still gonna be Mikola.
Yeah.
Now we just have more than one piece of imagery to work with.
Babies.
Woo!
Temerlo says the hollowing's over, and now that we finally got a trailer, thankfully we don't have to grind literal rocks for content now. Yeah, you know, don't be shocked. Whatever happens in the DLC gives me inspiration to do more Elden Ring videos. So, I mean, that was the real reason I haven't done them in forever, is because I just feel like everyone's talked about everything now. There's nothing left to do that people who are better at it haven't already done, so... No real reason to beat a dead horse for, like, I don't know, 200 views on a video I put, like, several days into working on.
That horse is up and kicking now.
Now we got a new horse.
We got a new stick.
We injected it with a horse reviver. Well, it's been like 10 minutes, so let's boot this shit up. Shall we? So let's see here. What open up the watch together. And I'll pop out the window.
Alright.
Oh, what do you know? It's the first thing that shows up in trending videos. How convenient.
Of course it is.
What the fuck else would be in there?
Yeah.
And I'm probably gonna have to sit and let this load for a minute because, I
Watch has been real
believe
fucked up recently.
well, not watch together has been fucked up. What's been fucked up for me is, a lot of my videos, like, downloading basically. My download speeds here are fucking atrocious lately.
I see.
So, oh, for some reason that kicked me out of the watch together. How bizarre.
Alright.
Alright, give me back. Oh, wait, what the fuck is going on, actually?
This is. Alright, now give me my horse.
The whoos. Ooh, and then I make sure this is full screen. I go full screen. I go back over to OBS, and I pull out one of the recording things. Gotta find out which of these is which. There we go. That's the one. So, we can move this over to the side a little, I think. Yes, we can. Magnificent. And then, my god, there's more of us. So, I'll just get rid of this version of me, and then we can all see us here under the video. Oh, actually, we're going to be pausing throughout this quite a bit, so
Yeah.
it's not, I don't really have to worry too much about buffering. Let's see. I'll be carrying over the audio without issue. Oh wait, I need to unmute. Ahaha.
Pure and radiant.
So first things first, of course. Here we are in Moog's Boss Arena. With the big thing. The big Mikola. And this person here, I would bet my bottom dollar that that's Melina. I think we hear Melina talking towards the end of the trailer. It's either her or Mikola we hear.
Yeah.
But this seems to be her showing up and giving her vague wisdom every once in a while.
He wields
Likely
love
true.
to shrive clean the hearts of men.
And whoever this guy is very obviously talking about Mikola using love to get people to do whatever he wants, get them to obey
Yeah.
him. And of course,
There is nothing more terrifying.
yeah, Mikola's fucking scary. Because even if he doesn't have any real quote-unquote power...
Like the word...
You're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I gotta leave the watch together again. It's fucked up. Yeah,
Still there, Heavenly?
I don't think so.
Damn.
Alright.
Well,
Well,
something I just noticed that I had never picked up on before is that the big...
Oh, sorry.
Oh, hello.
I'm still... There we go. What was happening?
Oh, there you go. You're
What were you
mostly
saying
back.
I
before?
should know.
You cut out a little bit, but you're mostly back now.
Okay. I was just saying, like, first of all the people that said we weren't going to access the DLC with the arm, lol.
I think if you didn't think that, you're kind of stupid.
What
honestly.
what does a FromSoft game leave a big limp hand hanging out for if not to grab it in some manner?
Yeah.
What is the point?
Secondly,
I just want to shake your hand.
interestingly, I looked up when I first watched this because I remembered that I'd heard the word before, but I didn't remember what it meant. The word that they use to describe, like, Mikola uses love to shrive the hearts of men.
Mm-hmm.
I looked up what the word shrive meant because I couldn't remember what it meant, and it's basically like a synonym for like absolve, forgive.
Interesting.
Mikola makes you feel really good about yourself. If you help out Mikola with Mikola things, you're doing good. You're ontologically good.
Yeah.
Very true.
That's very convincing. As Tenreludis points out, it's possible that it's the cut NPC from Mikla's quest line, but it definitely looks like Melina. Yeah, wasn't
The cut NPC was a guy,
yeah,
and I'm pretty sure that's Melina's dress.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if the one talking is the cut NPC.
I
Whoever
think his
this
name
guy
was
is.
I think his name was Rico, like something like that.
Hmm.
It was an R word. Let me look it up.
So yeah, like we had, like I think we mentioned earlier, like the stuff with Mikola was supposed to be in the game, but it was cut, correct?
Yeah. It's another wonderful example of FromSoft's absolutely incredible development cycle,
Mm.
which I do believe was worse in Dark Souls 1. Well, not quite. Well, maybe. With Demon Souls, there was supposed to be a sixth Archstone, like a sixth main area.
Yeah,
That was like,
he was part.
oh, you're breaking up again.
Yeah.
The worst one was the six.
I don't know if it's your mic or your internet connection, but one of them is
Yeah,
not
just
very
about
good.
think it last one in the area.
Oh. Yeah, we got like none of that, dog.
That pretty much all of that cut out.
God damn.
I don't know if it's your internet. I mean, your audio quality sounds good. So is it your internet?
I'm pretty sure it's the internet because it seems to be happening every time I like open a tab or some shit.
I see. I
I
see.
see.
So what were you saying before about the NPC?
Oh, he was part of the Saint Trina quest line that got cut out. That was about Mikola and Saint Trina being the same person.
Oh
I
yes, that.
see.
Yeah, yeah. Um.
And he was supposed to be associated with like dreams and stuff.
Hmm.
Hmm. That is very interesting.
Hmm. But yeah, FromSoft has this fascinating development cycle where they make their game, and then within the last several months before release, they decided, what if we added this? And then started dumping a bunch of resources into making something. And then, I don't know, 2 months before the game comes out, they realize, yeah, actually, we can't finish this before release date, so we're just going to put it in the DLC folder.
I see.
I don't believe Demon Souls sold well enough to get a DLC, so that never happened with the Sixth Archstone. But they did get to do that with Dark Souls 1, though you still see parts of it with like Lost Izalith being very obviously unfinished. You can tell this based on the lava textures that burn out your retinas, and the one area that
The
has
copy paste.
the copy pasting of the enemies. 12 dragon torsos in Lost Izalith.
Ooh, whoa, 6 crapper demons upon.
Yeah. But I think it's clear that they've mostly gotten better with time. Because I mean, Elden Ring still felt like a pretty complete game. The stuff that they cut out was definitely stuff that wasn't super essential for understanding things. But now we get an even better understanding. So I guess we're gonna go through Mikola into Mikola's dreams to this place. So this place is pretty neat looking. It reminds me of if you took the
New
Altus
Jersey.
Plateau and just turned down the color hue a lot.
It's the same.
Or the saturation. You just
It's the
turn down the
same, like-
saturation.
It's the same like color as like Death Blight. Like it's the black with like the brown in it.
Yeah,
Interesting.
a very dark gold. And then we've got all of these ghost headstones everywhere.
Yeah.
When you
Um,
die a second time, you get a ghost grave.
yeah, if I had to guess, that may just be something that comes as a result of dying inside the dream. We have these things up here. Oh boy, these things. Let's see. Yeah, this mostly looks... Yeah, it looks like there's like, think that looks... Oh, what do you know? We have a map thing here. That's good. So we will be going and getting a map of the region, like usual. I wouldn't be shocked if there's more
Yeah.
than one. Yeah, these are
It's
all
the size of
translucent.
Limgrave.
Yeah. So that means we'll get, like, 2 maps out of it, I think. Um,
Did they include? Are they Weeping Peninsula? Because that's kind
I...
of part of Limgrave.
I don't know. I do not know. When they say that, I imagine they're talking about... Well, no, actually, because the demo area, the network test area, that was just, like, half of Limgrave. Wasn't it? Like, you couldn't even go to Stormvale? Or no, you could
Yeah,
go to
it was.
Stormvale, but they cut off part of it.
Couldn't go to like Godric.
Yeah.
Right. Limgrave is technically like 4 parts, where it's the middle, then it's Stormhill, then it's the woods, and then it's Weeping Peninsula is technically part of Limgrave, but it's also kind of technically considered a different part.
Yeah, it's technically its own region.
Mm.
Probably like 3 or 4 maps, depending.
Though, at least in my opinion, Weeping Peninsula is just kind of one of those areas that doesn't really have anything in it. At least compared to Limgrave, it feels kind of bare bones. So I'm just like, yeah, it's there, I guess. This town back here, I have to wonder if this is like actual stuff that people built, or if this is just supposed to be, like usual, a reflection of the real world. Like Yarnum in the Old Hunters DLC is already broken and destroyed because that's just the collective memory of what Yarnum is like.
Oh.
It's not like anyone actually went around trashing the infrastructure there. It's just the way it is. I'm curious about that. I actually wouldn't be shocked if there was some sort of group here, based on some of the stuff we've learned from outside of the trailer. Some of the
That'd be
stuff
very
that they've
interesting.
revealed.
Like people almost settling in this dream area. That'd be kind of...
It could be something similar to like the Painted Worlds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and there does
Like,
appear to
where-
be, like, structures up here in the distance, like on the plateaus and stuff.
Yeah.
Like where this is where America throws all her trash
Maybe.
into the dream world.
Oh my god, that company I like. Okay, and here we get our big money shot of the DLC area, the Shadow of the Erdtree.
Yeah.
So, this place looks like shit. In a good way.
Yeah.
It looks quite terrible to live in. There's a
Looks like the big like ash desert you fight Gale in.
little.
Yeah.
So, quite a few things to go over here in terms of visuals. But let's check the chat here first. Tanoda says, what's an insane concept that a lot of the upcoming DLC could have possibly been originally base game content? So I couldn't imagine what the base game could have looked like. Yeah. You could say it's dark and shadowy. Yeah.
Whoa.
I wonder. So something interesting that's been pointed out is that this place has got like a lot of layers to it. You've got like the shitty swamp area down here. Then you've got sort of these raised plateau areas with structures on them, castles. You get higher up here, and there's actual like vibrant greenery. Like these trees are a bright green. And we got stuff that, you know, sort of looks a little bit like, that sort of kind of reminds me of the Mogwin Palace in terms of like all the pillars, the long roof. And then presumably it eventually leads to over here, which I imagine will be the big castle that Mesmer hangs out in. And then here we have this thing, which I guess is the Shadow of the Erdtree. That doesn't look like it's doing too hot. It looks like it's rotting. It looks like it's bleeding grace. And obviously the most interesting thing here are the curtains hanging down everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like a bedpost.
It
Yeah.
also looks like it's
Yeah.
bleeding grace into that castle of sorts, so I wonder if it's not gonna be like a big basin of grace in there.
So, let me look this up because there were some
It-
some interesting bits of information provided after the trailer dropped. Let's see, is this on Bandai Namco's website? This is just for buying stuff.
I think with an interview.
I wouldn't be shocked. Hold on, let's go to Bandai Namco Europe. Yes, I'm over 16 years old. Don't give me any cookies, I don't want them. Yeah, let's see. Place obscured by the Erdtree where the goddess Marika first set foot. Now that's slightly different from the thing I heard. So it may be a translation difference. But it's an interesting thing to look at here. I heard that this is supposedly the place where Marika first became a god. That may be an alternate translation of that. And what's interesting
This is
about
where
that?
her. This
What
is
were you
where
gonna
her
say?
Newman spaceship crashed.
Yeah, obviously, the spaceship.
Mhm.
Something
Like
interesting
a
about
nuclear
that
fallout.
is as far as we are aware, Marika became a god, at least as we understand her to be now, when she and Radigan shattered themselves and became one being. And where do we find out about that? Through Melina? Oh, America's bedchamber, which has a big ring in the center that a bunch of black curtains hang off of that look exactly like this. Which is just an interesting little detail, I suppose.
I mean, yeah, the bedchamber thing where it does look like it looks like the bed curtains you put on like a canopy.
Yeah, it does.
And also, I realized like the third time I watched this trailer that the way that this Erdtree looks, it kind of looks like Radigan's body him, or it's got like the runes inside of it where it looks broken. Same color, like it's the rotted looking one.
Right.
And I saw a thing where someone was talking about like tree in actual Elden Ring, like is a with it in the way that it's shaped. That's like the pose that she does, like the Erdtree's branches like flowering out, and there's a picture of it in the hold doing that pose like over the Erdtree, and it looks like Marika's body, which a lot of people, or not a lot of people, just some people say that this might be like it's supposed to look like Radigan's body.
Maybe. And of course, there still exists the possibility that this is our wonderful, mysterious health and, the tree in the afterlife. Depending on what exactly this weird realm that's shrouded by the Erdtree is. How strange for something to be shrouded by a giant luminous object. That normally doesn't happen. Well, I suppose it does happen because you require a large luminous object for anything to be hidden in shadow.
As I say, and also there's an apt like saying where it's like is darkest under the lamp or whatever.
Hmm.
Or if you've got like this thing sat down and it's projecting light, the darkest place is going to be where it's sitting.
True. So let's see here. OBS, are you going to... Okay, good. We do still have this up. Excellent. So let's see here. Where we go now? We got some shit flying around up there. This guy looks cool. I don't recognize this symbol. I think this is a new symbol. It reminds me a lot of the Dark Moon Knights from Dark Souls. Don't ask me where I got the comparison from. Wait. That does look more and more similar the longer I look at it. Isn't there like a halberd or a glaive that sort of has that shape on
So I
it?
say it looks like the halberd that the knights use.
The
Like
Clean Route Knights?
crescent halberd or something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, the Clean Rock Knights.
Yeah. This there are quite a few things in this trailer where I go, oh, that looks so familiar, but it doesn't look quite like anything we've seen previously.
When I first saw it, it looks like a great rune. I
It
think I went
does
and I
sort
looked
of
at the
look
great
like a great
runes.
rune, yeah, in all honesty. It
I
does.
thought it was Miquela's. I thought it might have been Miquela's great rune or Ronnie's if we were gonna see that.
I could see that being the case. Though obviously it's not just going to be out here in the middle of nowhere. Um, we talked about things a little bit last night. And it is possible that, we'll unlock a new ending through this DLC. And more likely than not, that would be done through creating another mending rune.
Yeah.
This, whatever the fuck this is, could be the start of that. Or whoever this guy is, if he's a unique NPC or an enemy type, like part of an order of knights that are here, may be part
I
of
assumed
the
that
ones that make that.
Well, I assumed that this was a boss cutscene and we were gonna fight something that was guarding it. That's
It's
just the player character.
kind of hard to tell sometimes in these trailers because, they film things really cinematically a lot of the time. Um,
Yeah.
so sometimes it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Usually kind of some of the lighting and stuff can help. This person here, I'm trying to think. Um, do you know what they remind me of? It reminds me of Tragoth's helmet. Great Horn Tragoth, the guy that helps you out in the mines and that I think you kill
Oh.
as part of Patch's quest line. Um,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if maybe they have some relation to that. Which I believe would mean that this person is like one of Godfrey's super ancient warriors. Like they're from Godfrey's time. Which wouldn't be shocking, given that they've got like a whole gladiator aesthetic going on with their
Yeah.
armor style. It's quite similar. Um,
The face reminded me of D.
of D, oh, with the helmet there. True.
Yeah.
That is very.
Just the
He's
face,
the only
really.
person we see with
Everything
like a
else is
face helmet.
not.
Yeah. Um, this sword is so fucking cool. It reminds me a lot of the Black Knight Ultra Greatsword, but with like actual detailed stylization on it instead of just being like obsidian.
If
Which
this
is still
person doesn't
cool,
give
though.
us their sword, I'm gonna take it.
They have the sword, you can obtain the sword. It's as simple as.
I would
In
kill
that
them.
forsaken place,
Now I wonder who's talking with this accent now.
blood must spill.
It kind of reminds me of Dialos's accent.
I was gonna say, like, I can't tell if this person is supposed to be like fantasy Spanish.
I think they are.
couldn't
I
pl-
kind of get the vibe that
Because-
they sound a bit like Dialos.
And I wanted
Hello,
to know
Bob.
if specific.
Hello. I see Reggie noises have been posted in the past.
A little while ago, yeah, but now we're
Yeah, now
analyzing
we're-
the Elden Ring trailer.
Yes.
Ah, neat.
Mhm.
I don't remember if they say where House Hoslow is from, but it's from outside the Lands Between, I do believe.
They don't.
So I imagine it's from outside.
Yeah, House Hoslow was like an outside thing, but they never said like I don't think that they say like any of the places outside the lands between except for like
The Land of Reeds.
maybe like the Badlands or whatever it was.
Yeah, the Land of
Where
Reeds. I feel like
Godfrey
there's
went
one
to.
other place that gets referenced at some point. But they don't really go much into specifics. Unlike Dark Souls 2,
it's
where they
never-
name drop so many fucking countries in DS2.
It's not like DS1 and 2 where they mention 30 countries that we never get any lore on.
Yeah. So, I'm wondering if that's this
but
person
yeah.
talking?
In that
I
forsaken
was
place,
supposed to say,
Oh.
with this guy talking fantasy, the reason I wanted to know if it was like a Spanish accent
Mm-hmm.
was because I thought it might have been Rico or Enrico, the dream NPC from the Miquela quest line that was cut.
Yeah.
I look at this armor right here.
This gladiator armor, or
that
this,
forsaken
like,
place.
The
not
rock
Havel
armor.
armor. The not Havel
Not
So
set.
say-
Havel armor. You know why I want. You know why I'm excited for that.
No,
Let's get some high poise
on
it.
you can't wait to poise check the entire DLC.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And then we have Ere, except even
Oh,
Hmm?
cut out again.
what?
You cut
Cut
out.
again.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we have Vere, except even fancier with the outfit.
Hmm. Now this man here, I thought he might have been an NPC, but I believe we see this fellow throwing exploding urns later, and I don't remember who he's throwing them at, but they look quite interesting.
Yeah.
And then we have this person here, big sleeping, big napping.
Mhm. I'm sure they're fine.
Yeah, this place here. So this is something interesting that we'll see a little bit with another little clip. Is they appear to have the subterranean area here as well. Like the you might as well call it the Underdark that they have here in Elden Ring. That seems to have carried over to this place as well. So
These flowers build sleep status effect.
oh yeah, that probably is
Definitely.
what they fucking do. Because it's Mikola and St. Trina, and St. Trina's whole big thing is sleep. So this person, I don't know, they just got really high.
And when you cast like the sleep stuff, it does flower petals, and it's this
And we
color
get
of
a bit of that
purple, and
later, it
this
looks
person
like.
is asleep in it. You've heard of poison swamp, but now get ready for sleep
Yeah.
meadow.
I'm gonna be fucking sleeping walking through there. Oh my god. A sleep area? That sounds awful.
I mean, it's not the worst. I mean, what happens when a player gets afflicted by sleep? Because I have literally never had it happen to me before.
Literally all you enter a animation where you like stumble and then you can't move for like a split second. It's basically like you get parried.
I see. So the minor inconvenience swamp. It will probably be
Yeah.
one of the better
Unless they've
ones.
got unless they've got a bunch of enemies running around that walk up to you and critical hit you while you're
Which I would
parried.
not be surprised of.
It's a FromSoft game. You think minor inconvenience is all you're getting?
Exactly.
So looking more at this person's design,
They remind me of that dude who greets you in front of your
yeah,
tomb.
it's Vare,
Let's say
who's,
it's
buddies with
Vere.
Mug. But the mask looks, well, obviously it's a bit different. The mask is a bit more ornate with all of the trimming around the edges. You can pretty much see where, if I had to guess, they almost like put it down over their head to put it on. Can't quite tell what sort of robes they have on. Appears they do have shoes, maybe. Based on how knuckled those fingers are, I do not believe this person is an NPC with like a normal player character model.
I'm trying to see their legs.
He barely
Like,
can.
it looks weird.
I wouldn't be shocked if this is an enemy type for this area, or maybe a boss. I don't know, because their design is fairly distinctive, but it's not so distinct that I can't imagine there being more than one of them.
Yeah.
Spell.
And then we have
What
this
is your
guy. So
Roll up in text speech.
yeah, some interesting things people noticed. I believe this guy appears either on a medallion or in the totem you use to get into the Liurnia Tower.
I believe it's both.
Yeah. So he's there. And then also, he appears on one half of the Dectus medallion, I think. Either the
Is
Dectus
this
or the Rolled medallion, one of the
Yeah.
two. So that means he's
his name
fairly
is
significant.
Dectus?
He may be Dectus, yeah.
Yeah,
Because we've never really gotten any context before as to why it has the name. We just know it's the Grand Lift of Dectus, but
yeah.
why is it called that? I don't know.
Now
Be
we
this
probably
guy,
know.
and then there's another guy named Road.
Yeah. Rolled. So we'll presumably learn a bit more about him, but based on the sort of area you meet this guy into, and they talk about spilling the blood of your fellows, I would not be shocked if this is some sort of covenant thing here.
Yep, this is giving Covenant vibe. Yeah.
If we, so Elden Ring doesn't really
Third identical invader covenant.
yeah. So, obviously Elden Ring doesn't have covenants like Dark Souls had, but there are still some factions for PvP stuff, notably the Volcano Manor. This really reminds me of that. This seems like something really similar.
I would say when I first saw him in the trailer, I thought it was Tanith for like half a second because of the chair. The
Hmm.
outfit is like completely different.
Oh yeah, I remember what this this reminds me of the aesthetic for the for Nokron and all the subterranean cities.
Oh yeah.
This reminds me of those places, especially with like now here this isn't Ghost Flame we have here. This here is Trina's flame, the sleeping flame.
Hmm.
How very interesting.
A lot of your fellows.
S flame. That makes
I'm gonna assume that's his voice, and he sounded a bit different from the other guy. Oh my god, poison swamp, and not just poison. This looks like
That looks-
extra fucked poison.
that looks like a death blight swamp.
Yeah, we gotta innovate.
No.
Now,
God.
what's great about
New
this
swamp
is
pit.
that we're able to ride torrent through swamps, so we don't have to deal with the bullshit. Here, at least.
I imagine there'll be like in the Aeonian swamp. They're gonna have geysers that can knock you off.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if we'll need the geysers. Is it just me? Do these fucking things over here move? I can't tell what these are. These look like a bunch of vultures just lined up staring at you. These little guys here.
They kind of just look like the eagles.
Hmm. But yeah, this place is unpleasant. Now, with all the stuff here that still looks like Deathblight, even though we haven't seen anything or heard anything specifically related to Godwyn for this, a lot of what we know surrounding Godwyn and Mikola seems to interconnect with each other. Specifically, the stuff with Castle Sol. In the Eclipse, Mikola seemingly trying to reawaken Godwyn. I would not be shocked if a lot of the stuff that happens around here is stuff that's related to Godwyn and whatever form Godwyn has taken on now. Like, where did Godwyn's soul go? If he only died in soul but not in body, where did the soul go? Is it here, maybe?
There's this weird, like, behind the scenes, like, low-key thing where it was like a chain of like connected demigods.
Mm-hmm.
Where, okay, if Mikola is Torrent's original owner, he gave Torrent to Ronnie for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
That's a connection between Mikola and Ronnie. And then Ronnie gave Rykard, was meant to help him fight against
Malekith.
Malekith, yeah. That's a connection between Ronnie and Rykard, and that's weird. And now we have his whole place, or kind of his place, I guess. We have this weird, like, Rykard-looking character. It's not Rykard. It's Mesmer. It's still weird. It's like, there's a guy that likes snakes and impaling people here.
Oh,
That's kind of like a connection.
Don't worry, we're gonna spend 30 minutes talking about Mesmer as soon as we get to him.
Yeah.
And
then you have like God connected with Mikola with like the whole Saul thing. But then Ronnie murdered Godwyn. Like, really weird. And I kind of want like some of that to be explained in this.
So yeah, welcome to the Deathblight Swamp. It's the swamp that makes you die. Also, it looks like there's some statues up here of people with like axes and polearms. This guy here, pretty sure we see him later. As Tenrilitus points out in the chat, this guy up here, or this lady here, has some vibes kind of similar to Fia with like the veil and the shrouding stuff, but who knows? Who can say, in all honesty? It's hard to tell. Looks like they don't have any eyes, or at least their eyes are shrouded. Kind of reminds me of Melania a bit. And oh my god, more pot construction, how delightful. And then the lava factory. And here we have one of those other areas. This is sort of like an intermediary place.
This looks a lot like Raya Lucaria.
Kind of reminds me, it's like a mix of Raya Lucaria and Farum Azula. So, interesting thing here. This appears to be sort of like an intermediary between one of the lower levels to the higher levels that have all the bright greenery, the places that are highest up in the light.
Yeah.
And it's safe to assume that we're going to fight a big boss in here. Perhaps the 3 guys in a trench coat.
Yeah.
So, what I think may be possible is that each section of the region will basically be gate-kept by one of the big bosses. So, it will have a bit of a more linear structure for how you're supposed to progress. For like the main story. It will almost sort of be like a hyper-condensed version of the main game, in which you can go anywhere. However, if you want to progress to different places, some of the different places, you have to get through certain bosses. So what if we took Margit and the Limgrave formula, and we did it like 3 times in one region? So
How many legacy dungeons do you think there'll be?
3.
3?
2 or 3.
2 or 3, yeah, probably.
Yeah, in terms of like big ones comparable to Stormveil, 2 or 3. So I imagine you get to the DLC, you got the lowlands, the swamp and whatnot, and you get to the first boss, and if you beat them, you just go on to the next layer of the region. But if you can't beat them, well, you got this whole layer to go around and explore and get stuff. So good luck. And then, you get to the next one and the pattern repeats. And that would probably imply that Mesmer is the final gatekeeper if he's not just the final boss.
I do doubt he's the final boss.
Yeah, he is, I mean, he can be, but given how we're going into this DLC with the knowledge that there is someone, presumably, way more important than Mesmer in it, presumably we're going to end off with things more related to Mesmer. But, Mesmer is obviously very significant to this region because he apparently burned the whole fucking place down. So I don't know. I think this is where we fight the... Oh yeah, this thing. This is a field boss, I guess. I love Berserk. So this giant flaming wicker man. Yeah. They're quite interesting. Because I was trying to figure out exactly what this head reminds me of. And I finally figured it out, because I saw someone, they reposted some of their old fan art on Twitter. It reminds me of the Omen Killer mask.
Oh.
And these things here look like they just took, like, big omen horns and threw them on there. And if you look at around this thing's arms and its midsections, you just see a bunch of charred corpses sticking out of them. Like, this thing's filled to the brim with dead people.
Yeah, holy shit.
When I first saw the face on it, it reminded me of the thing that Dung Eater wears around his neck.
Yeah, the Omen.
Yeah, it's like Omen related.
So if I had to guess, I'd say this thing is probably a big passion project that a lot of the Omen killers worked on.
Oh.
And speaking of omens, not omens, but this thing's silly as fuck. This giant worm guy. He seems hungry.
Yeah, you take a little sip.
Yeah, this looks to be again in sort of the subterranean area.
I just realized something with the Omen. It said like a part of the lore with the Omen is when they go to sleep, they see a nightmare, like a nightmare thing that haunts like all Omen.
Oh yeah, they just see like constant screaming faces and shit, and that's where like their black and gold Omen spells come from. That would be quite interesting, actually. That'd be very interesting. I have no fucking idea what this thing is. It's just some weird monster. He's gonna eat you. He's gonna give you a big smooch. Now that right there is the moon. And I'm pretty sure that's the moon in Liurnia. So,
It looks purple, but that just might be the...
Yeah, I don't know.
Video.
I guess there's still gonna be a day-night cycle here, so I don't know. I originally thought this would be in the subterranean area, but the moon's here, so...
Yeah.
Now this funny fuck. Oh.
One of their coolest designs.
Look at this son of a bitch. So, it's more obvious now when you look at it this way.
Mm.
This appears to be a mask of like a lion
Yeah.
head, so like Siraj, like a beast man. And then there's another mouth inside of it here, but I still don't think that is the person in
No,
charge's
it's
mouth.
not. Yeah.
Now, you may not pick up on it here, but you can see this person's hands holding on to the top and bottom of the mask.
Mhm.
And then, you got gemstones in there.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of omen horns sticking out all over this thing. The attire that they're wearing kind of reminds me of the Sanguine Nobles, like Moog's boys.
Yeah.
And then also there's still this big mane of golden hair here with sort of the braiding. This thing is an interesting amalgam of symbols. You have the symbol of the golden lineage with their golden hair. You've got the symbols of the omen and the primordial crucible. And then you have the symbols of the beast people. More specifically, Siraj. If I were to wager a guess, I would posit that this is meant to be some sort of representation, perhaps even a mocking one, of
Yes.
the Old Order.
I would think you're very right with that. And also, we'd be remiss if I didn't mention the person who's been very adamant. This is the Chinese New Year dragon, Tater.
Yeah, Tater, this does kind of remind me of the big Chinese New Year dragon, where you got a bunch of people get into it, and they,
Yeah. He'd be very mad if we didn't say so. We didn't mention him, so there we go.
Also
gets a
has
royalty check.
also kind of looks like a lion dog statue,
a little.
Yeah.
which is like a guardian type thing.
Yeah.
My read on this thing was, when I first saw that face, I could not stop thinking of like Jim Henson puppet.
Mm-hmm.
Never-ending story with
Dark-
the animal.
dark
name?
crystal.
Yeah, that
ass.
goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Now that I say it out loud,
Falcor, yeah.
lion dog, and the shadow beasts are lions and dogs.
Look at Falcor right here. I think this is a really cool boss design, and I think it being like sort of a mocking depiction of the Old Order is a very good read on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just kind of what happens, because these are a bunch of symbols that coexisted at one point, initially, but since then I would say have become very at odds with each other.
Yeah, it's what like new regimes do. They mock the old one as they're taking power. So I wonder why this is appearing in here. Is my question, like why this is appearing here.
Let's see here. Generator says, I think it's the first grafted. Well, unfortunately, Godefroy, I'd blow my brains out, is the first of the grafted.
You know the creative boss name?
Oh my god, Godefroy the Grafted, Godric's ancestor, who just so happened to look exactly like him, graft identical parts in the same identical pattern, and use the same weapon that Godric specifically had forged for himself?
Oh,
No
Godric
way.
just copied him,
down
obviously.
He just
their
copied
entire
that guy,
family.
exactly. He found
He
identical
copied
parts.
that guy's drip. He's like, shit, this is so cool.
And he had the exact same reason for wanting to graft,
Yeah.
The third Godric retrain.
I
In this
can't
deal.
wait for
For me,
yeah, Gourmand the Grafted.
Jermaine the
Orcola.
Oh, fuck you.
Grafted.
So yeah, this entity here is quite interesting. And as you can see here, in the still image, you look back here, yeah, that's a dude crouched down back there. So that's a guy in line, there's presumably another one here, and there's a guy up front holding the mask together. This is indeed 3 guys in a trench coat. We've gotten the first trio boss, and wait, no, we have another. We got the trio boss, but Oh, thank God. God willing, they found a way to make it good. And how do they make the trio boss good? Oh, it's just one
Put 'em
entity.
one.
It's one
Yeah.
thing.
Don't worry, it'll turn into a gank
Now
in
it
phase
says
2.
3 phases,
Boy.
you know, where you like. That's such a cool attack.
What the let's can I don't think this really works here on the watch together, but you know, the moving frame by frame stuff. Yeah, it doesn't work here on watch
Yeah.
together, unfortunately, but you know, we
It leaping through the air and spinning its head is such a cool attack.
yeah, oof. That boy. So he does that. He does like this death blight shit, and then he throws fucking lightning. Oh, look at how it opens his mouth like that. That's so cool. So yeah, I'm kind of inclined to agree. This fight will probably be 3 phases, and the 3 phases are each of the 3 guys doing a different thing.
Yeah.
So I think the actually, I think these are all representative of all of them, really, is when you have it just, like, sort of thrashing around like a wild beast. That's meant to be representative of the beast people. This smog, gross stuff is representative of the omen. And then the lightning here is representative of the golden lineage in Lanedale.
And also, that jumping attack looks very similar to something Malekith does in his...
It is kind of similar, yeah.
That jumping leap in the first phase of that fight, the Beast Clergyman fight, when he jumps on you.
So, I think in terms of creativity with design on multiple levels, this is one of the best things they've ever made.
Yes, this is so sick.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
The multi-layered design to this thing goes nuts. Just think of like the it's not just the appearance design, but the way this thing moves around. Like the way they had to think of how the animations for this thing and how they work. Ooh. So good.
If it came out, this was like the boss he spent the most time on in this DLC, I would not be shocked. And now he's here.
And here's the man everyone's going nuts over.
Yep. Him holding fire is very interesting, also.
Yeah! So this is
Him
Mesmer.
holding
Mesmer, certified Twitter
Mesmerizing.
enthusiast character.
The Twitter people love Mesmer. They're me. I'm Twitter people, by the
Okay.
way.
Yeah, I also love Mesmer. Now,
I'm trying to go.
I look at the design. First things first.
let's get to this in-depth,
Miyazaki, I point.
Miyazaki. That man's helmet looks a lot like Grumbeld's helmet.
Yep, I pointed at Grumbeld. I'm like, oh my god.
So,
I thought it looked like a helmet from House of the Dragon.
Yeah, no, it's literally Grumbeld's helmet. I'll put in next speech.
let's look at this dude piece by piece here, shall we? Boy, does he have some moving parts. Such as the big long snake. I can't tell if he has 2 snakes or if it's a double-ended snake. I can't tell.
I think you've been really on that cat. How do you say that word again?
The Caduceus thing?
Caduceus, yeah. You've been really on that Caduceus stuff.
So most of you have
A
probably
wand of
seen...
Hermes or whatever.
Yeah, most of you have probably seen it before. We normally associate it with hospitals and medicine. The winged stick with 2 snakes wrapping around it. It's a symbol associated with Hermes. Normally, that's associated with, like, thievery and brigandry and shit. Not health. But it's a very interesting, almost similarity. All that needs to happen is for them to wrap themselves around Mesmer's spear, and it looks the same.
Ooh, and that's gonna happen. You know it.
Mm-hmm. So that's an interesting thing. Obviously, the big snake association in this game is with Eagle, the god-devouring serpent, and then Rygar has the biggest character association with them. We don't really know anything about any other snakes, I don't believe. So him having a big pet snake here is quite fucking interesting, to say the least. Then, you know, things go on. Now, the tendrils that pop up around this fire sure is interesting. This flame is really fucking red. It's really red.
Yeah.
I think it looks more red than the flame of the fell god that the fire giants use.
Yes, I think you're right.
Now we get a more
It's like that.
complete look at Mesmer's
And
design
now,
here.
it's very interesting how all of the giants were found impaled and their fire stolen.
Oh, impaled, and they've got
Impaled, you
like
say?
they've got all these thorns growing out around them, and well, there's a few
Yeah.
things. The first
Mesmer,
thing,
where were you on January 6th?
well, that's a good question because I don't believe Radigan and Marika would have been together yet at that point. And by that I mean they wouldn't have been. Godfrey would have been leading the war against the Giants then.
Soulsborne Dracula
However,
with the weird bat wing.
yeah, this flame, I wouldn't be shocked if it's still the fell flame. But the sort of like thorns wrapping around it are very interesting. It kind of reminds me of like the briars of punishment that we see some of those guys using in the mountaintops. That's associated with the blood star, that stupid fucking thing.
It's a little too orange, but it kind of reminded me of like Malekith's like Destined Death type.
Also could
the
remind you a
black
little
and
bit of
red.
blood flame.
Yeah.
So
There's too many fucking flames in this game.
yeah, there are a lot. The spear here, looks a lot like a ritual spear. Honestly, what it kind of reminds me of looking at it right now, it's as if Mohg's trident was just a normal spear in terms of the stylization of the spearhead.
Yeah, the
guess we
spearhead
took-
being that stylized is very interesting. Because it looks like snakeheads almost are coming off it.
Sort of hard to
It's
tell
like if
from
you
here.
took Rykard's sword and you stuck it on the end of Mohg's
Let
trident.
me try something like this. Let's see here. It looks to me. Oh, let me do a little bit of a. It looks like snakeheads to me, like small little snakeheads going off of it.
Tenrota says briars and snakes are described as instruments in opposition to the Golden Order. Yeah, I wonder.
I wonder where that came from. I wonder if he's like a Judas or anything like that. I don't know.
Yeah, oh god, Mesmer, you're such an OC character. You're so
This is
silly.
my OC. He's. Let me find the Trunks image real quick. Hold
Yeah,
on.
yeah, that's Mesmer. Mesmer is
Yeah.
someone's OC where it's just
Because-
like, here's my OC demigod.
His cringe fail son.
Yeah. So the other thing I find really interesting about Mesmer's design is well, the dragon motifs here. This stuff looks really similar to the Drake set that Eleanor wears. Which dragon association there. That's quite interesting. We know there was the ancient dragon cult in Lanedale. But the other things I found really interesting were that one, the material on the cloak that Mesmer is wearing here reminds me a lot of sort of Mohg's robes that he wears, at least a little bit. But more than that, the way it's wrapped around him really reminds me of the Exile Knights. Something about it just seems strikingly similar to me.
This man being in exile? No way.
I would not be shocked, and it's my general assumption right now that Mesmer was basically sent here as a form of exile. But the way he
Yes.
still seems to talk to Marika implies that he still has some sense of loyalty to her and the Golden Order.
What if
Or maybe not the Golden Order, depending
What
on
if,
what
like-
version of it is.
I'm thinking about like I'm worried like about like how this DLC is going to deal with like dream like manifestation type stuff.
Mhm.
What if he wasn't like born? What if Marika made him with her mind in this like dream world, and he's like an
That'd be
amalgamation of all the
weird.
the bad shit she's done. That's why there's like giant flame and dragon shit.
Yeah.
He's
Also,
like the
like-
person to bear their sins. Okay, that's really interesting.
Well,
I
I
like
have
that.
I have my prediction so far that we'll get into, but for starters, let's hear Mesmer. What do you have to say again? We'll turn on the subtitles.
Mother, wouldst thou truly lordship sanction in one so bereft of light?
So I think he's very obviously talking to Marika here. It's already been confirmed that he's the demigod for this area, so that means he is one of Marika's kids. He has the red hair. Let's get another good look at him here. He's got the red hair, which means he is one of Marika and Radigan's kids. He's got the weird, fucked up physique of being like 12 feet tall, but having a normal human person's head on top of his body. And still having like abnormally long arms. Um, yeah, look at that snake motif there on the helmet too. That's interesting. Um, the way that he talks here still seems to imply some degree of loyalty, but it's just like, oh, really? You'd be okay with lordship being given to someone like this, being given to a tarnished. Um, implies a degree of self-righteousness, and also him thinking that he knows better than Marika.
Mm.
So I think entitlement would be a better
Yeah,
word.
that's probably another one. He's entitled. I also get the
'Cause
impression that he seems like
strikes
he
me
knows
as
better.
like a
Yeah.
he strikes me as like a bratty prince type character.
Hmm.
The way he talks specifically.
None of the wings are actually attached to Mesmer. It's all on the snake. Really?
Really?
Snake armor.
That is interesting. Big if true.
Wait, it's kind of hard to tell. I think you might be right. Yeah, actually, because where would that be coming out of? We get to see him move around a little bit more later on in the trailer, so we may get a better shot there. So that's interesting. Red hair, so he's Radigan and Marika's kids, but also his eye there, that's like a draconic eye, which means this man's been partaking in a mild amount of dragon communion.
Mm-hmm.
It's either a dragon eye or it's a frenzy flame yellow eye.
Based on how not frenzied his flame looks, I'm thinking it's probably dragon communion, especially because of something else that we see in this trailer, which is a very interesting thing people picked up on quite some time ago that does not get talked about very much. My general impression is that Mesmer is probably Radigan and Marika's first child. So he's older than Mikola and Melania. And I do not believe that he was created by them after they became the Rebus. So I'm pretty sure he's fully natural. I would not be shocked if this here is the flame of the giants that he inherited from Radigan, due to Radigan being a descendant of the giants. And that's probably a contributing factor to him getting thrown away, because they don't like the flame. They don't like the snake, which is associated with the Erdtree being bad, and also the flame, which is associated with the destruction of the Erdtree. If I had to guess, I think it's very possible that Mesmer was, like, openly in favor of burning down the Erdtree. Maybe something along those lines, and that he may have possibly, and this is just full speculation right now without much to go off of yet, may have been like, Mom, can't we do better than the big god tree? Aren't there better things we can do than this? So yeah, I don't know, and then that I think seems like a plenty good reason to just go ship him off to the dream realm and not have anyone talk about him ever again. So yeah. Now we get to the rest of it here. Look at this cool twin sword combo that seems to shift around into a fucking reverse grip here. This appears to be... I can't tell if this is on the lower levels or if this might be a little bit on the higher levels, because having the standing water here implies this is on like one of the lower portions of the region. But we do have greener grass. These people look a little bit cleaner and better composed. What the fuck is this person's... These are like snake people. Look at how long these fuckers' necks are. What the fuck is that? I can't quite tell what that is coming out of their heads, if that's like omen stuff or not.
It looks like they're wearing a chandelier on their head.
Yeah, it could be.
Those chandeliers are interesting. Oh shit, those remind me of the Helfin's
Helpin' steeple?
Yeah, the Helfin steeple. A little bit, at least from there.
Oh.
In terms of shape, a little bit.
Yeah.
So it was announced that we're getting like multiple new weapon types. What the fuck? How did we get all the way over here? What the shit?
So we have like twin swords. One of them.
Yeah, twin swords that go into like a reverse grip. I know some people have maybe been theorizing that we're going to get the new version of the Dark Souls 3 paired weapons, where they just come 2 in 1, which I'd be cool with. I liked those. But having weapons that go into a reverse grip, oh boy. Everyone wants trick weapons back. Trick weapons were the shit. So yeah, we got that. Oh, yeah, good moves there. We've got, some sort of throwing knife weapons.
Yeah.
This area up here seems to be much higher because the
Like
curtains are much closer. You can see them more vividly there. And this place looks to be in better condition. These almost look like mini versions of the rune towers. The fuck is that back there? Can't quite tell. Yeah, this seems to be one of the higher levels of the region.
I wonder if they're making throwing knives not a consumable anymore.
I think that I wouldn't be shocked if
It's
there's
gonna-
like a
it's like
throwing knife
the-
weapon like the Crow Knight quills from DS3.
And
The
this
spear
spell right
history.
here.
You can like throw.
This here,
Butterfly shit.
this also appears to be higher up. I think this is summoning the nascent butterflies, which are associated with Saint Trina, and this means we're getting more sleep magic. How nice! How very good. For the
Also,
people that like
you-
it. And
This
here,
would be sick co-op magic. Oh, hands are back in the menu. Or
and
feet,
now
rather.
here we've got. Would you like your character to be a fighting game character?
Yeah.
Can't quite tell if this is a weapon or just a weapon art.
'Cause that looks like the Cypherpada effect.
Yeah. So I can't tell. Also, I think that's a slightly new knight design.
Yeah.
Obviously, most of the knights, they sort of share a common design trend, but they have somewhat distinguishing features. The helmets are slightly different. They have different decorations on their armor. This guy looks really worn down compared to most of the other ones, but he doesn't have a cape, so he's not like super regal like most of them are. But he's definitely
he's
different.
like this soldier.
His plume is very
Let's
kind
see.
of ratty.
With that up there, I think this is like the mid region, like the mid-level dungeon.
Oh, and also his
And there's
plume
the
is
This
boss
looks
like
like
right
the.
there.
his plume is like golden hair. Almost.
Yeah. Also, no, I don't think this is the boss being fought. I'm pretty sure the boss is behind that
doubt
because
it.
this guy doesn't
Yeah.
look like a boss. Though he does have a twin blade, which
That
we haven't had any
Twinblade
knight enemies
looks
have.
sick.
But yeah, I think regardless of whatever this is, it's gonna hit the streets like crack cocaine in the 1980s. You know, everyone wants to become the punch kick merchant. We now have a big throwing pot. These guys look to be unique enemies as well. Okay, so that's not the guy in the stone armor from earlier. Maybe
not.
that's the guy. Maybe he makes pots and sells them to you to throw at people. He's the local pot merchant. You know, our pot dealer, if you would.
Yeah.
Let's get to slightly higher resolution. Can
Just
we
jar
take it
white.
even higher? I think we can take it even higher. We'll go to better resolution, even if it maybe leads to the trailer taking a little bit longer to load back in again. Woo. Woo. Oh,
Sky.
don't go that far ahead. Fuck. The sky does look quite dreadful.
Yeah.
It looks like
that may
the,
just be part of the day-night cycle.
I presume you too are keen to
It looks
know.
like the weird sky in like Lich Dragon's arena.
A little bit, not quite as
Hello?
psychedelic.
We see a bit more twin blade combat there.
Oh, and you know, we got our new repeating crossbow, the flaming
Yeah.
repeating crossbow. I can't tell if this is new armor or if this is just the Knight Rider armor. I think this is new, actually. I do believe this is new armor. We got a new repeating crossbow. How delightful. How many shots do we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it just speeds the fuck up the longer
Yeah.
you stand there. Jesus Christ. They're giving us a machine gun.
As I say, it's like the machine gun from Blood Bowl.
Oh, so this. Are you ready
That
for...
is
The answer
cool.
is always just a guess. It's not.
What is that?
Oh, this
number.
appears to be a
It's
bear incantation, but do you want to know why that's interesting?
What is that?
So one, the bear's got like fucking red fur coming out of... You see those
Yeah.
horns coming out of it?
Uh-huh.
Kind of looks like a horn. The eye there looks more
Roman
draconic
bear?
than usual. Oh no. I don't know if you ever had this pointed out to you before, but the dragons are turning into... Or the bears are turning into dragons.
Oh dear.
You look
Oh,
at their
you don't know about-
eyes. They have dragon communion eyes. Some of them appear to have the gravelstone scales poking out of their bodies. There was, I think, in the network test, or maybe in just some older version of the game, there was a rune bear you could kill to get a dragon heart from.
Oh.
So, either the dragons are evolving into bears, or The bears have been eating dead dragons and eating their hearts, so the bears have accidentally been doing dragon communion.
Darwin, eat your heart out.
Yep.
I can't wait for the boss we get this from to stun lock me on the ground.
Oh, are
Oh,
you
it's gonna be-
ready for the draconic rune bear boss? Oh boy. You know, I love the draconic tree sentinel. And you know what else I loved? I love the rune bears. So what if we just took the two of them and made them into one boss?
What are you talking about? You're just getting ready for Zaroon Bear to start breathing fire. It was already a little draconic.
Yeah.
Kind Mikola is doing here.
The rune bears
What
are
is
nice.
Mikola doing here? Good question. This area looks pretty. This
Yeah.
lady, I can't tell if she's a boss or an NPC that you fight.
This, yeah.
She looks to be
also
using a
more
player
friendly.
character model. Oh, I think she's using the scimitars we saw being used back
Yeah.
here. So I wouldn't be shocked if she's an NPC we get them from, or if this is just PvP happening and this is an armor set you can get. Either way, I wouldn't be shocked if this is an armor set you can get, which is nice because it looks very good.
Very pretty.
I saw some people talking about how she might be related to like the water dancer.
Yeah, maybe. Though it'd be interesting for her to be wearing all red instead of them wearing blue. Something color theory. Anime rivals. Oh, yeah, that looks good. Oh
That's
my
cool.
god, this is... Oh, fuck, it is a Tree Sentinel reskin.
Draconic pig sentinel.
So, this funny fellow here is riding a giant boar, and he appears to be using... that's not a sword, that's a lance. I do believe
Yep.
that's a lance there. And he's summoning what looks like... Now, initially, it seems like lightning, but in case I'm not mistaken, that's the good old color of gravity magic.
Gravity
Wait,
magic.
no.
Yep, that's gravity.
Wait. What the fuck is that? I can't tell if that's a sword or a lance now.
That is a lance, I believe.
That's the weirdest looking lance I've ever
Uh,
seen. It's shaped like a
The
sword.
lance sword. It's shaped
It's
like
so
the
wide at the top.
It looks like the meteorite sword, like the sword sword that looks like round and weird.
You
and
know
shit.
what? I think it is a giant, like, fucked up sword.
Draconic Tree Sentinel, but good because DLC. Oh, so true. Yeah, the Boar Sentinel. Prepare for pain. Don't worry,
Yeah.
Medell, I am preparing for pain.
Hog
I really
rider.
like that guy's armor, though. Looks really good. Please Clap says, I'm not too familiar with the timeline of Marika and Radigan's relationships. Could Mesmer be a bastard? Would explain why he wasn't in the lore previously. His existence just got covered up. That's an
That's
interesting possibility. Oh dear, I
very
lost
interesting.
connection.
Oh,
Whoever's host now.
heavenly.
Heavenly, your host.
What do I do?
Give me back host. You go click on the thing here. You go click on your name and the watch together. Right? And then you go select and you give me host. Or you just leave the watch together and whoever it gets given to gives it to me.
Yeah,
Okay, give me 1 sec. Sorry.
that's probably.
So how are you guys doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, very. Learning so much about Elden Ring lore. I'm hosting now.
Oh,
Okay,
you're host now. Oh my god, if only there was someone that had a whole big playlist full of definitely now outdated Elden Ring lore videos. So yeah, that guy looks pretty cool. And then we get to the next cool...
Yeah.
Oh, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh,
Watch
pig,
together,
big
very
pig.
coogerative. So we got, there's the big pig, and then this thing's a fucking hippo looking
Oh,
creature.
It's so cool.
And then it smashes its head down and it does that, like a hedgehog. That's fucking Grace.
It's
That's Grace,
got,
by the way.
like-
That's like Golden Order stuff.
Yeah.
I'm doing quite
Looks
well.
like the
still.
Crucible powers.
Yeah, it kind of does look like the Crucible stuff, actually.
Yeah.
So a lot of people
Crucible
look at
hippo.
this thing and they go, oh, this thing looks so cool. I look at this thing, I see a reskin of the Kaled dogs if they had giant magical AoE explosions, and I go, this thing's going to be the worst thing to fight of all time.
Oh no.
It will be
This
new
looks
bottom
so
one.
cool, but it's like I don't want to fight this at all.
This thing will be so fucking annoying, I tell ya, I swear to God. They
It
will be
would-
the worst
reminded me
thing
of
ever.
It reminded me of the Pontiff Beast from
Oh, yeah.
like Berserk Wolf.
Yeah, Sullivan's Beasts, yeah. Looks like it got stunned and grew the spikes. No, that looked like an attack there.
it would do a big, hey, get the
That would
fuck
be
away, be part of the
slam.
attack.
But yeah, like Please Clap was saying, if Mesmer is a bastard between America and Radigan, that'd be quite interesting. And if they had a prior relationship, that would lead even further explanation as to why when America said, "Hey, come to Lanedale to be my new consort," Radigan just dropped everything and went without a second thought.
George R. Martin helped write the DLC too.
I
Yep.
don't know.
This is all based on lore that he developed for the game. So
I see.
Okay.
Well,
I was about to say if
I really want us to get all the info on what George R. R. Martin wrote. Because my understanding is that he essentially wrote a short story as the foundation of the setting's lore, and then Miyazaki did everything else.
I would love if
Okay.
they released that one. I
Me
would
too.
love
I
it.
was gonna say, don't worry, come out in 15 years when the Winds of
I
Winter is done.
want to
Yeah.
read that so fucking bad.
So yeah, this thing's gonna be a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Why the fuck does it keep doing this? What a piece of shit. Get back here. Come
And
on.
that reminds me that big attack. Oh, it's back. Yeah, back. We'll go back.
Oh, whoa.
Oh.
Oh my god, it's all over the goddamn place.
That thing is giving me big Orphan of Kos vibes.
Hold on.
This weapon as well.
We're really not cooperating with me now, are you? Watch together, you piece of shit.
The Dead Horse Centaur.
The horse gargoyle.
Yeah. The thing it chucks
Let's keep
around
fucking
is
doing
giving me
this.
big. Yeah, so we have this thing, Big Hippo.
This motherfucker here. There's a boss, by the way. You can tell. You can see the borders of the
Yeah.
boss arena here. This weird guy, this weird little dude on his, like, crippled horse that I can't tell if he's melding into it or not.
Yeah, I think so.
Looks like a
What the fuck is
Yeah,
this thing?
he is that horse.
Okay, so he's a weird cripple centaur,
He's a
the cripple
knucklebeard.
tar,
Yep.
but the horse is still there. He's the back of the horse. Now,
Yep.
one
he's a
or-
knucklebeard.
oh
It's
my
a
god! Oh, the Nucklavi!
it's
Oh
a
my god! The Elden Ring Nucklavi finally becomes real. Guy who participated in Vadi's art competition like 3 years ago. You're a prophet. I like the boomerang sword thing. This thing's whole body is really weird. Like, it looks like a skeleton, but it's filled with a bunch of shit. Its head
his sword.
and its body.
His sword.
Yeah.
His sword is in his ribs.
Yeah. His lower body there, and also his head remind me of the Silver Tears. You know, our wonderful little metallic ooze friends from Nokron. So I wouldn't be shocked if this is one of their creations that's found its way here.
Yeah.
The yellow monk has seen better days.
Yeah. Now this guy. This seems to be the guy from the picture with that lady earlier on. He's wearing the same attire. Kind of has the same hairdo. I can't tell what the fuck this substance is. It almost looks like solidified grace.
Yeah, I think it's a good read on
The
that.
amber or whatever.
Yeah, and now
Yeah.
he's pulling his own head out, which is it seems his spinal
And
column's been replaced by this
He
sword.
is going to beat us to death with it.
Yeah.
Let's say this is the thing I meant to say. His sword is in his rib cage.
Yeah. Normally and originally I looked at this guy and I thought, oh, you know, he looks like he may be an NPC or something. You know, one of those the really fucked up one that you always have in a FromSoft game. One really fucked NPC. But the framing, the lighting here, can't quite tell how big this fellow is. But also the fact that this doorway is directly behind him, like he's blocking your path. Yeah, this guy's probably a boss. He may be the boss for the first portion of the region.
Yeah.
He's pulling his fucking head out. So,
And then we have this cool one.
my god, you're right. The wings are coming off this snake. It's a double-ended
Oh.
winged snake.
That is so cool.
Cool.
Come now.
And then we have the twin blade shield.
Yeah, it's a dueling shield.
These are so cute.
So let's hear, what did Mesmer have to say again? We go back here. We turn the subtitles back on.
That's
Of gold shall all meet death. Embrace of Mesmer's flame.
So that was a unique backstepping animation too.
Ooh, how nice. How very
I think
good.
so.
Big fan of those.
Or am I
So
tripping?
no, I think you're correct. So a couple of things to pick up on here. Yes, those wings are indeed coming out of the snake. So it's a weird winged snake creature. Based on the way it wraps around him, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's one entity. God, your anatomy's so fucking weird, Mesmer. It's so fucking strange. It's interesting. All of these spears that prop up seem to be real, and they don't go away, like, right after the attack's over. Like, he's summoning the spear back into his hand, and they're still staying there. That's quite interesting. And another thing to notice, he keeps his left eye closed all the time.
I wonder what he's gonna do for phase 2.
If I had to guess, he opens his eye, and oh my god, it looks like the Eye of the Fire Giants. That's my guess right now.
Sharingan.
That'll be so cool.
Mesmer. You're such an interesting character, perhaps even mesmerizing. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, touch the arm, go hit the DLC thing. Mesmer. Your
And
armor
this,
really
I
doesn't cover
wonder-
up a lot of your body. It doesn't really cover the sides of his body.
So this is an Ash of War.
A lot of exposed thighs
And
in
if
this
so,
trailer.
what is it on?
A lot of these guys are Greek maxing. They looked at the
Yeah.
ancient Greco-Roman armor styles and they thought, who needs pants? Who needs pants, really? As long as you have armor covering your shins, who needs pants?
Get in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, he does that attack there. And oh my god, it's Aspect of the Crucible Wings. Based on the way you raise the weapon up, I'm gonna bet this is a
Yeah.
weapon art. And also,
Yeah.
this shield here can be used as a weapon, so this is one of the new weapon types, because they put a bunch of new categories in the game. It seems they've added bladed shields. I forget the name of them, but they're real
Or
medieval
dueling
weapons.
shields.
Yeah, dueling shields. They appear to have added fucking dueling shields.
Yeah.
This twin blade here, I can't tell if that's supposed to be runic symbols on that, or if that's the gravity magic
It
symbol like
looks
there's on Radon swords.
A little similar to that weapon that Knight had too.
Yeah, probably
Looks
from them.
very similar. That's an unbalanced twin blade thing.
Yeah.
Because one end's way bigger than the other.
A little, yeah. It's a bit
Yeah,
hard to
but
tell from this angle.
The end near the back seems a little thicker.
Yeah. And naturally, we get posed up for fighting with Mesmer. This guy's gonna
Nice.
fucking ruin my life.
Yeah.
If this guy is the Millennia difficulty boss, I hope it's an optional one that they have be that difficult. Yeah, look at the way the snake wraps around him when he's doing his stuff. Just leaping through the air like that. I love that pose. I love the way he looks when he leaps up in the air with the spear. Originally, when I thought it would be Godwyn as the main DLC boss, and I still think we're gonna get Godwyn in some way, shape, or form. I thought, man, I hope Godwyn uses a polearm. So we fight a demigod who uses a polearm that's not Moog. I want another one, and we got
love
another
the
one.
fire effects too. They look so like.
It'd be cool if
I don't know the right way to describe it.
Like you know how like if Mesmer was like the main boss of the DLC,
Yeah.
like Godwyn as like the hard one, like the Dark Eater Midir to the Gale type.
Yeah, I imagine the way Godwyn works. I imagine Godwyn will be the optional super boss.
I wonder if they're not saving him for, because we're not getting only one expansion for Elden.
I don't know. It's a $40 expansion.
I
that's
doubt it.
that's
Much were
bigger
the-
than any other one we've gotten before.
I am a
Let's say
firm
if this
believer
is
that this is going to be one of two.
Do you think that FromSoft, for the first time ever, has got like a 5-year plan for one of their games?
I think with Elden
is
Ring, for how long
truly-
this game has been in development, absolutely.
Hmm.
This game has
This
been
is
in
truly-
development for a long time.
This is truly DS2. We need at least 3 DLC.
Oh yes, of course. Elden Ring is just we took the stuff from Dark Souls 2 and we made it better. We just took the cool stuff and we put it in a better game. Maybe it'll depend. depending on the contents of it, I won't necessarily be like, we gotta get another one. If we get another one for like the Godskin stuff, I'd be like, fuck yeah. Oh, and there's always the possibility that Mesmer has a relation to the Godskin stuff as well, somehow.
Oh, brother.
I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, where does FromSoft go with like Dark Souls after Elden Ring? Like, how do they top this?
Yeah. Do they make Elden Ring 2? Do they make like, I don't know. What happens from here on out?
I don't know. It's just
'Cause I
Miyazaki
think
will
that
think of a new thing and they'll
if
do a
they-
new thing.
If they really wanted to do like keep it being like Elden Ring DLCs for a little bit, I think that would be cool.
I would be totally fine with that. I like Elden Ring a lot, so...
Yeah. It's like, where do they go for, like, what type of game do they make after Elden Ring? That's the interesting part.
That is the
Back
question.
more Armored Core.
They will do
I
more
want-
Armored Core. I believe in it with how well it's sold and how much money they have from Elden Ring. They'll do more
I
Armored
want
Core.
Western.
Absolutely.
I want Cowboy Souls, like a
Mhm.
grimdark Western setting.
I've seen some people joking about having an American mythology based Dark Souls game, and I think that'd be very funny.
That would be interesting. Oh, yeah.
Imagine fighting a
I-
giant boss, Paul Bunyan.
Holy shit. That'd be pretty funny.
My favorite God of War
says-
boss.
I still say
Yeah.
Mikola is the main problem because he's waiting for his promised lord. Why would Mikola want to meet the Tarnished? So here, important dialogue. Oh, come touch the withered arm and travel to the realm of shadow.
I will not be far behind.
May we meet
May
again.
we meet again.
So, one, I originally thought that was Melena's voice. It's slightly too deep to be Melena's voice. That's
it's-
totally Mikola.
No, it's Ronnie.
No, she does.
You
They
can
don't
hear-
have quite the same accent. Like they have a very similar tone of voice. They sound similar, but
I thought-
they don't have Ronnie's accent. Not quite.
Play it again.
Come now,
I'm not sure.
withered arm, and travel to the realm of shadow. I will not be far behind. May we meet again.
Yeah, they sound a little bit
I
different
guess
from
it
Ronnie.
is slightly. Yeah, it is slightly different than Ronnie.
So, I say, Mikola or Saint Trina, whichever version of them they are now, that they're gonna talk to us before the fucking DLC starts. I actually wouldn't be shocked if the person we see standing out there isn't Melina, because it'd probably be a little weird to get Melina involved in stuff, but I wouldn't be shocked if she appears to basically go, oh, hello, person. The DLC is now available. You may now enter the DLC area.
I kind of hope that we at least can talk to her at like more graces, because she honestly wasn't that present in the main game, at least
Yeah,
until like
Melina was kind of underdeveloped compared to a lot of the other maidens and firekeepers from the other games. And obviously at the end here, oh my god, title drop. Oh my god, it's the person that we've been waiting for the whole
it's Princess
fucking time.
Zelda.
It's Mikola, looking abnormally radiant and luminous, and they go, oh my god, look at the big god tree. And that's the DLC, and oh look, there's the guy. There's that funny man everyone thinks is really cool, because he is.
I saw someone pointing out that he's sitting in God's chair.
And whose?
Morgoth's chair, like the Elden throne.
Oh yeah, he does have a throne here, which is interesting. He does have one of those. So, he's still given some degree of authority and reverence, despite maybe being in exile here. Now we go to the Bandai Namco store page, as we get the synopsis. The Land of Shadow, a place obscured by the Erdtree, where the goddess Marika first set foot. A land purged in an unsung battle, set ablaze by Mesmer's flame. It was to this land that Mikola departed, divesting himself of his flesh, his strength, his lineage, of all things golden. And now Mikola awaits the return of his promised lord. So, a few things one can and should wonder. Who is that Lord Miquela's waiting for? Why is Miquela waiting for them? Perhaps us. Miquela, of course, is still an Empyrean, like Rani and Malenia, which means that forming a union with them is something that can bring about a new age. So more credence to us getting another new ending through this
We're
DLC.
gonna get the Rebus ending. Woo!
Yeah. It's interesting divesting himself of his flesh, his strength, his lineage of all things golden. So he's basically just become a spirit with none of his demigod power. Which I would say makes sense, given the state of the husk. I wouldn't be shocked if basically all of his power got left behind in that thing.
Pulling out that he's going to put his soul in Godwin's empty body.
Quite possibly. That is a thing I find to be quite plausible. Because, well, we don't know where Godwin's soul is. We don't know if it even still exists anymore or not. But his body is still alive. It's just vacant.
Miquela gives you a Ronnie-esque like quest, and he's like, "Go fuck up Godwin's soul, so I can go get in his
Yeah,
body."
what if that's our turbo boss, Miquela in Goblin's body?
I could see it. I could see it. Also, I can definitely see that being the boss after Mesmer. Oh yeah, the last thing I wanted to talk about with symbols that kind of seems familiar but don't quite look like anything else is the symbol on his spear here. Like the two intersecting U's. Kind of, I thought that looked like something familiar. I know something people pointed out in the past was that Marika's symbol on the stakes of Marika and the symbol of the Rune of Death almost seem to line up with each other in the Elden Ring. So, I don't know, man. Interesting things. Many questions raised by this.
Just like how this game has too many fires in it, it also has too many weird-ass like half circles. Look the same.
They smacked their hand on top of the Elden Ring game box and went, this bad boy can fit so many flames in it. So many different fucking fires. But yeah, that's the Elden Ring trailer. What did you guys think of it?
Thought it was very cool.
It is pretty fucking cool.
Oh yeah, you get a
I
better
thought it was
look at
very-
the snakes being on the wing being on the snake and the Mesmer statue as well.
You do.
I thought it was very cool, but as I said when I came in, I'm getting nom flashbacks to Filianor from DS3
Yep.
because adding in a new very important god character.
Who we didn't really talk about before in the main game, except for the one statue that I somehow never saw until today. And
Which statue?
so you know how all around the Erdtree and in a few other places there's the picture of Malenia like kneeling down and embracing Miquela? Well, there's another one of Miquela doing that with some other person that's not Malenia.
Oh.
That appears to have long hair and is of similar stature to Malenia. And who fits that description? Oh, this fucking guy.
Were his arms twice as long as they should be?
Let me go look at the picture again.
Because otherwise, I would have assumed Radagon.
Let's have a look-see here. I go in the Soulsborne chat, and I go look at the picture of the statue. Can't quite tell. His arms do look a little too long. But his hair is quite similar to the style of... Oh, hold on a second. It's time to get strong schizophrenia. It's hard to tell due to... Oh my fuck. Okay, so either that's Radagon, which it might be.
Radagon or Godwin?
Okay, I'm gonna go
like, the same
insane.
hairstyle.
It's Miquela and Malenia being sort of wrapped up by this person.
Oh.
Which is pretty interesting, I gotta say.
And that lends more credence to that oldest child thing.
Yeah. But one must wonder, did they have that guy sticking around for long enough for him to be there when Miquela and Malenia came into the picture? That is the question. Well, anywho,
Yeah,
with that, I do believe that's all we have to discuss about this trailer.
I
I'd
think so as
say
well.
an hour and a half spent analyzing a 3-minute long trailer is pretty sufficient.
I think it's fair.
I'd say that's pretty good, a good time compared to what other people might do.
Oh yes. Well, people more in tune with the lore, more educated on things like just general anthropology and archaeology, European history, Japanese
Architecture
culture.
breakdown.
Yeah, people like Quaylog who make those really good videos. Um, they do more.
I can't wait to see how the DLC
Clover's in the chat.
relates to alchemy.
Hi, Clover. It's suspected to be Godwin. Statues all over Elfile. Yeah, that's another possibility. I guess in that case, there's 3 different contenders. It could be Godwin, who we've never seen before. It could be Radigan, who we have seen, but he kind of has the chiseled jawline with the long hair. Or it could be Mesmer. Sturmer Novad says if Mesmer is Marika's kid, that makes him. Murray and Graceless menacing. If he's Saint Trina's son, that means Moog's a menace. Nah, it seems that he is Marika's kid because Miyazaki did say that he's basically a shard bearer like all the other ones. If he does have a rune, I would presume it would be Miquella's, which we don't find anywhere in the main game. Grievous has stretched it out pretty well. Yes, I did. People can do it more, but hour and a half on a 3-minute trailer, I'd say that's pretty solid. That's some good analysis.
Indeed.
And that's probably a sufficient amount for today, so I think this is a good place to call it. So thank all of you for joining here in the VC, and thank you to all of you who joined in the stream chat. Much appreciated having you all here.
Clover says, educated in Elden Ring lore.
Clover says, I believe it's also said that Godwin and the twins were close to each other, but I'm not too sure about that. I don't remember if it's stated about him having a close relationship with both of the twins, but I know, what was it? Either Miquella produced a sword for Godwin, or the other way around.
Miquella made a miracle for Radagon, and then he made a sword to commemorate the death of Godwin.
Let's see here. The Golden Epitaph. Yeah, this thing. Yeah, it was made by Miquella to commemorate Godwin's death. The Golden Epitaph.
Radagon. He wrote Radagon a miracle.
Yeah. In this case, when it comes to the connection between Godwin and the twins, it seems Miquella made the Golden Epitaph for him, or to commemorate him. And the stuff in Castle Soul seems to imply that Miquella was invested in trying to bring about Godwin's resurrection or reawakening. And that, in some ways, relates to the eclipse. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. Some very interesting possibilities on the table. Some things that didn't really seem too significant in the past, or things that probably could have been expanded upon more, now being talked about more. But yeah, once again, that's it for the stream, so thank you all for joining. I appreciate it. Be sure to look forward to more stuff being done with Elden Ring in the future. Presumably once the DLC drops. I know I am. So until next time, I'll see you guys around. Take care. Bye-bye. Well, that was a good stream. Nice and productive.